Hello, beings of light. Today we have a near-death experience, NDE story from a woman named Julie. She tells us that in 2006, after divorcing her husband, he took her life, their children's lives, and then his own. During the time she was dead, she describes meeting Jesus Christ, asking him questions, and seeing the next 70 years. The author of the story also asks to keep her identity a secret. Please subscribe to the channel. Here, we dub and narrate NDEs from people around the globe. These stories aim to bring love and hope. Hello. I won't tell my whole life story, but it will take a bit more time to get to the NDE. I'm not going to lie to anyone. My ex-husband was not exactly the father or husband of the year, but I thought if I loved him enough, he would change. However, the more I loved him, the worse he became. My husband stayed home with the kids while I worked. This started in 1997 when he lost his job at the shipyard after a serious accident caused by his excessive drinking. He cost the company millions in equipment losses and hundreds of thousands in settlements to the workers he permanently injured. As I said, he messed everything up. I was moving up in the company where I still work today, and by the time he was fired, I was already the main breadwinner. When we got married, we decided to have 2 children. We were lucky, and on our first try, we had fraternal twins, a boy and a girl, born in October 1995. He lost his job as a crane operator in 1997, so we decided it would be a good idea for him to stay home with the kids while I worked. I wish I knew then what I know now, because I would have continued taking them to daycare, and my babies would probably be alive today. In the first few months, everything seemed fine. He stopped drinking, and things seemed good. At the beginning of 1998, I came home from work. He was on the couch watching TV, and the kids were napping. I asked him how his day was, and he said it was fine. I went to check on the kids, who were sound asleep. I went back to the living room to talk to him and asked about dinner. He slapped me. I should have known then to leave, but I was stupid. Of course, he apologized and said he thought I was disrespecting him because I was working and he wasn't. This started happening more frequently until it became a nightly event. I began to run out of excuses for my boss about why I wasn't at work or why I had heavy makeup on. I know what everyone is thinking. Why didn't you leave him? It's easier said than done, especially when you think you're in love. Not a day goes by that I don't regret not leaving sooner. On August 16, 2005, I decided to leave work early to surprise my husband. When I got home, he wasn't on the couch drinking as usual. I went to my daughter's room and heard whimpering. I won't describe what I saw, but you can imagine. I ran to the bedroom, grabbed the pistol we kept in the safe, and pointed it at him. I wish I had pulled the trigger. I didn't, and it cost me everything. A year later, the divorce was quick. I discovered he had been abusing our children for 3 years. I had no idea. With charges pending and him in jail, I thought everything would be fine for me and the kids. But it wasn't. On the night my children and I died, we were returning from therapy. As soon as we entered the house, I saw a flash and felt a burning sensation in my chest. I fell to my knees and then to the floor. He shot me 5 more times, always missing vital organs by mere centimeters. My children weren't as lucky. I saw him shoot my daughter and then my son. As I took my last breath, I heard him say something like, "Now we will all die." I watched him take his own life and then took my final breath. I remember standing up and looking around, seeing my son, my daughter, and my body, feeling nothing. I don't know why, but I felt nothing for them at that moment. I felt a strange tugging sensation around my belly button. It was hard to describe, but it felt like a cat pulling on a shoelace you were holding. When I looked down, I saw something like a string attached to me. The tugging sensation continued, getting stronger until it felt like I was being pulled towards something. After a while, I reached the light, and with a popping sound, I passed through it. What I saw and felt, there was the greatest love and joy I had ever experienced. I felt like a baby in my father's arms. Looking around, I saw a dark-skinned man with a beard, wearing a robe and sandals. When you're in heaven, you immediately know what Jesus Christ looks like. I went to where he was and felt the love emanating from him for all of us. As we walked, Jesus told me my purpose and why I was there. It was then that I realized I wasn't dreaming. I was dead. I spoke about my children, and from his expression, I knew they were dead. I asked why he gave them to me only to take them away. He replied that it was their choice. Each soul makes a contract with the Father before coming to earth. Earth is not our final destination. It's for learning and experiencing life. I was stunned and asked why souls like Hitler existed. Jesus explained that all souls are born as blank slates. When a soul wishes to experience life, it approaches the Father, who grants that wish. I asked why evil was allowed, why my children died because of evil. Jesus said that the evil that affected my children would not go unpunished. After my ex-husband's soul is purified, he will rejoin the Father. I asked about the lake of fire, and Jesus explained that it's a metaphor for the suffering that evil souls will endure. He told me that my experience on earth was not over, and that I had to return to tell others what was to come. I didn't want to return, but he showed me what awaited me in the next 70 years. I returned through the dark tunnel and saw my neighbor performing CPR on me, yelling for help. I re-entered my body through my head and found myself in the hospital, where my doctor said I had a long road to recovery. On the day I was released, I told my doctor about my experience. He thought I had a mental breakdown and committed me. My doctor died in 2006, and I wish I could have seen his face when he realized I was right. I saw myself meeting my second husband in 2013 and having a son. I saw my second husband die in 2051. In 2024, the world banking system will collapse, leading everyone to use traceable cryptocurrencies. The US will implement a social credit system, grading people based on education, criminal record, political affiliation, and other things. In 2028, Donald Trump will be elected president again and will bring back paper money for US citizens. In 2061, the United States will decide to split into two countries without a civil war. These new countries will be called the Northern United States and the Southern United States. Both will be invaded by China in 2063, forcing them to unite with Canada and Mexico to survive the attack. From 2028 to 2063, there will be a period of relative stability in the world, with no wars and hunger being almost eradicated. However, in 2063, China's invasion will trigger a new world war that will last 7 years. After the war between China and the newly formed United States of North America and the rest of the world, there will be a declaration that no more wars will be fought. This declaration will be maintained until at least 2075. I cannot see what will happen in the world after that date, and I believe this is because my contract with God will finally run out. There are only 53 more years until I can finally go home. It's a horrible feeling knowing some of the things I know, especially the date of my husband's death. I've tried to talk to him about it, but I haven't mentioned the year he will die yet. I'm afraid he won't be able to handle this information. Some people may call me a demon and possessed, but I don't feel that way. I feel that Jesus showed me what I needed to see to understand how contracts with the Father work. I know people won't believe this. I can already see the comments. All I can say is wait until 2024, and when you see the world banks announcing that they will no longer print money and that everyone will be switched to the new cryptocurrency system, that will be proof enough. Julie's story is a powerful testimony of resilience and faith. After facing unimaginable tragedies, she found the strength to share her near-death experience, providing a unique perspective on life after death. Her visions of the future, though disturbing, serve as a warning for us to reflect on our actions and choices in the present. Always remember that our future is always shaped by our decisions, so we don't know if these things will actually happen. This narrative challenges us to reconsider our beliefs about the afterlife and the importance of living a life of integrity. Julie reminds us that even in the most desperate situations, there is hope, and that love and forgiveness can prevail, because we know that even losing those we love, we are certain to see them one day. That's all for now, beings of light. I hope you enjoyed the story. Thank you, and see you in the next video.